morning, good morning. Sammy here live on the Bloomz Instagram page. Today it's the 1st of September, and so that means we have a new artist of the month, and today for this month it's Elisa Colangeli, and she's going to be joining us now. So for Lisa, if you're on, can you join, my lovely? Good morning, Cindy, or good evening, Cindy, as you're still in Melbourne, haven't come over yet. And good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Elisa, if you can request to join, and then we can have you on. Good morning, Steve. Oh, got almost a full house of Bloomz this morning. I just literally had to run out because the heavens have opened and I had both my doors open, so I had to run out and just quickly close them. So we're going to be speaking to Elisa. As soon as she requests to join, we'll bring her on. Oh, there we go. Let me just accept Elisa. Good morning, head girl. So Elisa should be joining us shortly. And there she is. Good morning, lovely lady.
Good morning. Good morning from.
I can't hear you, Elisa.
Oh, you can hear me? I'm not muted.
Oh, it was me.
Perfect. I was starting to get worried right now.
How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you. I'm just planning around my Bloomz month, and so I'm so happy to be here. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you online.
Okay, so Elisa, you are in Rome, in Italy. You're an engineer, you're an artist, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're
I'm tired.
well, you look very good for being tired. I wouldn't mind being tired if I looked like that. Can we have a bit of your backstory of how you decided to push yourself forward as an artist, coming from a very mathematical engineering background? Can we hear a little bit of your story?
Yeah. I've always been interested in, literature and art. So I was, a fan of going to museums. When my, schoolmates wanted to have parties until midnight, maybe. And yes, I've always been different, but I studied Latin and Greek when I was at the Liceo. We have the Liceo here with specifically dedicated to such subjects. Then I said, well, ciao Stephanie, welcome. If I want to find a job, I have to switch to something else. And then I said, okay, engineering sounds good because I would like to know something more about this. I've always been quite eclectic. So if you say, are you interested in astronomy? Yes, I am. Are you interested in, cooking? Yes, I am. I'm always interested. And so I became an environmental engineer because I really believed in sustainability. And today I deal with waste management and I teach people, even if I am always like a policeman of the law for the law. But I teach people, I teach managers how to respect the environment, coupling the manage of environment with the economy. So, supporting their economic activity. But I think that I didn't fully become myself with my job. And it was quite frustrating because of personal issue. I was a manager for some time. I had an upper level in my job for maybe 6 months, some years ago. And I had to travel back and forth from where I stay to another place. And I was out from 6 a.m. in the morning and came back home at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And then I had to stay with my kids and make homework and so whatever a mom does. And I couldn't bear it anymore. So I just gave up and came back to my previous place, previous position. And I think that the disillusionment opened my eyes
Mm.
because I understood that I was putting so much effort into something that it was not what I really am, because I can do a job like an engineer, but I am not an engineer. I am Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do something which was just a pleasure for myself, and I said, okay, I want to devote some time for me. And my secret dream was, learning how to paint without having a formal education in art, and with the impossible condition of joining life drawing classes, for example, because I couldn't leave my kids.
Mm.
So I had to find a way to make this possible. And I really, God bless internet and Facebook, because I, step after step, I trained, okay, and I started to see that something was possible for me. And here I am. I started basically in 2018, so it's 4 years now. And yeah, I see a lot of road behind and a lot of road ahead, but that's okay. I keep on walking.
I mean, it's such a beautiful journey that you are on, and that you've travelled so far. But what I like about it is the fact that you said that you're more than just your job. And the list of titles I gave you, you are Elisa. And I find that when I'm looking at your work, I am seeing so much of you. And I've only known you for a very short time, but in each piece, you just give us a little bit more of yourself, which I find is so beautiful and so generous of you as the artist.
It's great that you find like a act of generosity. And yeah, I think it's something that I can't avoid, because I like to quote Frida, who is one of my favorite artists. She used to say, I can paint something else but myself. And indeed she did, but very limitedly, because she used to know herself. I could transfer this quote into my approach to art, because yes, I paint others, but I always put something of me inside what I paint. It can be, an idea, and then I find a reference that matches up perfectly with the idea I have in my mind, or maybe, yes, a feeling or a message. Yeah, it's me.
My mistake. I forgot to say that actually you're a figurative artist, and you draw beautiful women. But it's the women that you draw, their faces may show pain and anxiety and fear. So they're not like pretty pictures, but they are very beautiful women. Do you have any examples that you could show us?
Yeah, I have a couple of small pieces I could handle in front of the camera. Um, this they are quite serene. I'm calm. Yes, I see a sort of change about the mood of my paintings. I started from black and white, and with a sort of gothic atmosphere, and then experimenting along the time, and also being able to mix colors, indeed, because no one taught me, so I had to learn. And I really amplified my range of colors. And for example, this is of one of my portraits dedicated to my children memories, my child memories, and it is called Flowers Without Thorns. And with this painting, I particularly wanted to celebrate my summer days spent in my grandparents' house when I was just a kid. And I remember
Mm.
that my grandmother used to, grow up so many flowers, and I couldn't touch them. It was forbidden. Don't touch the flowers. Don't touch the flowers. But it was so beautiful to see her, um, putting so much love in that daily care, that it was an inspiration, even if I have no time to grow flowers now. But it's good. It's a good memory. And yes, this is acrylic on my panel, and I used
That's
lots
just
of
such a beautiful piece. Just really is. I mean, the way you've layered up the work. I mean, it's just
lots.
there's so much to see.
Yes, lots of layers, starting from an abstract background, which I sometimes do, not always, but I'm coming back to that because I don't want to feel stuck, and I understood that I need to do something different to avoid this bad sensation of being closed inside a corner. And the other piece that I brought with me is just a very small one because it's a handy art, and it's a butterfly and a girl. I have a passion for, you know, Far East countries and Japan, especially. So I always tend to come back to Japan, to geishas, to, almond-shaped girls. And this is an example of this.
She's beautiful. That is just a stunning piece. Really is stunning. I love how the green just pops out,
Yeah,
but her eyes are really drawing you into the piece. And that's what you tend to do, isn't it? With the women and the girls you paint, you put so much into their eyes that we're drawn in,
yeah.
absolutely drawn in.
The glance, the gaze is a focal point for a portrait, because eyes are the mirror of the soul. In this case, there is quite a clever, at least I think it's clever coupling between the butterfly and the eye, because you just see and don't see, and then she wants to say something, but she wants at the same time that you know it by yourself without that telling you. I don't know, quite a mysterious atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's stunning. And we can see more of your work on your Instagram page, Facebook, YouTube. We'll put all the links on after the interview.
Thank you.
Um, you see your love of women is great, and we can see that in your work. Within the Bloomz, we all feel that from you, that you're a great supporter of women, that not just artists but women as a whole collective, that you're there supporting those women. Where do you get your support from?
Mm. It's good. Good question. I think that my support comes from my family. It's the first place. My mother is a great example of support. We are so similar, um, even physically and psychologically. And we didn't have a great relationship in the past because we are too similar. So she's very, bossy. She's a dog. So yes, she was bossy, and oh, do like this, do like that, and maybe I became a sort of mini mom. I don't know. But now, with the years coming through, and we discovered each other, and you always for she always say, I've never been a good mom, but I say, no, you've been excellent mom, because I saw you as an example of behavior and integrity, really integrity. And by now, living on my own with my own family, and my husband is my number one supporter, because he never, he would even fight against me for, forbidding me to paint or whatever, but it didn't happen. So he just say, okay, go on for each painting I sell. He helps me to do the right package, and do everything and you know, it always encourages me. And then my kids, who are, you know, always messing around, but they finally understand what I do after a TV interview where I spoke in Italian, because I always, you know, I have an international public, so it's quite hard to find me speaking in Italian, even because maybe my audience in my town is quite close, then they really don't understand English anyway. So I look outside Rieti, and they finally understood what I do. So they say, "Oh, ma, are you paying women because you want to make people understand that everyone needs respect and we are more than a label, as you said before." Ah, we love it, we love it. So this is my group of support. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Can we talk about your miniatures? You did a series of miniatures of famous women.
I don't know. I don't think I have them here. I should try.
What I wanted to know is what made you decide to create your women in miniature?
Yes, I have an example, because this is the one I will offer as a prize for our Dive into Art event the next week. And this is a miniature about Frida. And yes, for Christmas time last year, I thought that could be a good idea to offer people small gifts that and at affordable prices that are original. So avoiding printings of paintings, always sketching for originals. And yes, I chose four famous women that meant to me for their, you know, personality and what history owes to them. And one is Frida, the others are Lady Di, Princess Diana, and what else? Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. Each of them is so different from the others, and yes, I painted 5 miniatures for each of the characters that I chose, and this is one I
Yeah.
still have here at home, and it will be given to the lucky winner.
That was such a beautiful collection that you did. And even though they're of women, it's quite a departure from the size of the work you were working on to go so small, but having so much detail still there.
I can show you.
It's
Yeah,
fabulous.
quite a lot of time, but not too much really. When you get used to it, you just can vary the size of your paint brushes, and then you can manage it. Of course, starting from big dimensions is quite challenging, but you can do it. Yeah.
um, so
Even I found out to come back to bigger dimensions. Yeah.
um, so coming up for you, Elisa, because I know we're coming. We've got some time left. I thought we were coming to the end. We've got some time left. Coming up for you, Elisa, you've got Pongo on the go. Can you tell us a little bit about Pongo?
My sweet Pongo, yes, he's the part of the group, the group support because he's my cat, really. He chose me. I didn't choose him, but he chose me because he used to live in the opposite side of the road at another house. So one day he decided that he had to move into my garden, and he did. And so he became a part of the family, and he's very sweet. I've always been a sort of cat lover and cat addicted. I had many cats in my teenage years, and I have to thank him a lot because he made me realize that I could do art in a lighter way. Sometimes I feel too involved emotionally with my paintings, and it happens especially when I have commissions, because you see the pressure on you. So you really want to achieve a good result, and you really want to express what the commissioner wants from you. And Pongo made me realize that I could do something different. So I started to play with clay, paper clay, which is an inexpensive thing.
Mm.
So all kids usually build, figurines using this kind of material. And yes, I started to sculpt cats. So I started from, yes, little Pongos. He is white with some black spots on his fur. And so the first Pongos are black and white, basically. I have an example of a recent figurine of a cat. This is an angel cat. It will be an angel cat once it's finished, with with a pair of, how do you say, like this, flying wings, okay? And like, forgive me, forgive me, and playing and the guitar. And there is a crack here, so it requires more work, because the clay, when it gets dried, tends to shrink, so it produces cracks. And then I will have another go with this and fix all the cracks, and then I will pass to putting some paint on it to get to the final result. So at this stage, it's quite interesting that a lot of ladies that are cat lovers as well, like me, are starting to ask for their cat commission. So at the moment, I am delivering a big commission of 3 cats altogether, and they will be sent to Spain very soon. So it's quite
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
Yes.
I think it's important. I think it's important to have a lighter side to our work, because, like you, I have quite heavy work that I have to I create, and so every now and then it's just nice to do a light piece that actually isn't taking anything from you other than your creativity. It's not taking anything from you emotionally, so it's good to have that outlet to be able to balance it up, to enable you to keep producing the real emotional pieces that people do become very attached to. But as you, as the artist, that also can be draining.
Yes, it's true. And that's why I really decided to play with, small things that don't require so much emotional involvement. And, a Pongo paw, for example, can become a magnet. And I made some of them. And yeah, greeting cards with cats, simple lines with cats, really simple things.
Yeah.
It also taught me that these simple things can really help people understand that everyone can be creative. So we don't have to study 4 years of, anatomy to understand how the human body works, and then paint the human body. Yeah, we can just go into to the point.
I think everyone has creativity in them. It's whether or not they allow themselves to open up to it and go with the flow, and trying, have a go, have a try. And I think as the Bloomz group, we've got our event coming up on the 11th of September. You'll see, if you come onto our YouTube premiere, people will see that we all have very different styles of working, because we've all made a short video which they can watch, and if they want to enter the competitions, all they need to do is to subscribe, like and comment, and to win the main prize, which is £400 worth of Bloomz vouchers to spend on one of the Bloomz artists' work. They need to put together the sentence. But if they go to our Bloomz page, which Stephanie has put it up there, dive into Bloomz, Bloomz page, they'll be able to get all the instructions and how to follow and how to join us. But what I'm saying is that what we're wanting to do as artists, I think it's very rare to find such a generous group of artists. We're telling you about how we create. We're showing you how we create because we want you to be able to create too. You'll never create the same as me or I the same as you, but I could learn a lot from you, and it's about giving it a go, and that's what we want. Because artists add colour to this world. And that's what we do. We're adding colour to this world. We're adding a different dimension, a different thought process to this world, because we're all wanting to be here to support each other. And I think art is a great way of doing that. So we'll put all the information up after the interview. But Elisa, you also have groups on Facebook. Can you tell us a bit about your groups, please?
Yes, my free community really aims to do what you were just telling about. So it's quite a place where you can find inspiration and meet other creatives, which doesn't mean that we have only artists inside, because I really don't believe that creativity is quite a peculiarity for artists, because we are all creatives and we were born creatives, and that's it. That's the point I want to stress. So you will find coaches or entrepreneurs of many kind, and everyone there is trying to connect and interact on the basis of a daily inspiration that can come from the inside or the outside. But if you understand that inspiration is something that really can help you to find that those 5 minutes per day that you want to devote to do some sketching on a piece of paper or some intuitive art. I became a fan of intuitive art because it's a powerful tool that really enables people to express what they have inside. It's not really I don't want to call it as an art therapy, because I am not an art therapist and I'm not a psychologist, but I think that it's very useful. So together with the free group I've set up in just at the end of August, a different community where I give monthly events, all dedicated about intuitive art. So art not from logic, not from planning, not from the knowledge of technical stuff, but art from intuition and from the feelings, which I promote really because I am totally empathic. And so we have a topic basically every month, and people can join and spend some time with me. We read some paragraphs from books that I select, and we have sort of meditation visualization to start with, because I want people to detach from the surroundings and really find their dimension for that hour that they will stay with me. And then after this, we've just about half an hour to paint and draw whatever we want based on that topic, and that's it. People are happy, people feel energized again, people can find a motivation to see things from a different perspective, because we are creative. And so creativity is synonymous for lateral thinking, an alternative way of finding solutions where you never thought you could find. That's it. So my commission is talking about women and then teaching people how to unlock their creativity.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, we're all creative. You don't have to be an artist, because every person, like you say, we're born to create. We're born to add something to this world.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to create. But it's just allowing yourself that freedom to be able to do that. And your group, I think, is a marvelous place for anyone to come in, feel well warmed, feel welcomed, and just to give it a go. Absolutely. I've got a quick fire round for you now, Elisa. So you've got to answer quickly. First answer that comes into your head. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Right, number 1, city or countryside?
Countryside. Yes.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Your mother's cooking or your mother-in-law's cooking?
No one of them. No, both of them, but I want to cook by myself.
Your favorite color?
Red.
Your favorite artist?
Chagall.
Your favorite takeaway food?
Cannolo siciliano. Do you know?
No? What's that?
Oh, it's mwah. It's, you know, a sweet, like a cake, but in a roll of
Oh, yes, yes.
filled with cotta cheese and chocolate mix. Mwah.
The last film you watched?
It was a stupid movie about some kids that have to, you know, prevent their house from being, how do you say, the thieves coming inside their house during summer. It's a stupid movie. Yeah.
Charcoal or paint?
Paint. Now paint.
And last one, panna cotta or gelato?
Gelato made, because I can make gelato. So I will be waiting for all of you to come and taste it here.
Elisa, thank you so much for joining us this morning as the introduction to your month as Artist of the Month. Just very quickly, what sort of things can we expect over this month from you?
Well, I am after all, I am an engineer, so I expect that it will be some repeating patterns along the month, but I will be live on the Bloomz Art House page each Thursday. And for a couple of times a week, I dedicate a post to one of my paintings, and then at least once a week, I will tell you more about me, because I really think that storytelling is a part of the job. So if you don't get a connection with the artist, you will never be able to understand what I want to express.
Absolutely.
I will go intuitively for the remaining things, but I think we will do okay, and so you will help me, so we will be great.
I think it's going to be a fabulous month. I'm looking forward to the lives. I'm looking forward to finding out more about the artist behind the easel, and it's just going to be smashing. So Elisa, thank you so much for joining us. We'll put all the information in after I've posted the interview, but have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all the people who joined, and please let us know with an hashtag replay when you look at us again.
Thank you, Elisa.
Tammy, thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. So that was Elisa. If you press the cross at the top,
okay.
That's it.
Bye.
Yeah. So that was the lovely Elisa from Italy. So she's going to be taking over our social media pages for the month. So please join Elisa on her lives and on the pages and what she's doing. Interact, leave comments. And I'll be meeting Elisa again at the end of the month just to do a wrap up to see how the month went for her. So thanks ever so much for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.